You're listening to Saturday Morning Media. And now, back to our show. Attraction Checklist is made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons. Not only do patrons get to hear these shows up to a week in advance before their release, they also get special downloads of just the recorded attraction audio for each episode, and they get exclusive bonus episodes about attractions from other theme parks. Consider becoming a patron today for as little as $1 a month over at patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media. And thank you for your support. My name is Grandpa Choco, and I invite you to join me on my quest to learn about and experience every Disney park attraction I possibly can. This is Attraction Checklist. Welcome to Attraction Checklist. It's time to take a grand circle tour of Disneyland on the Disneyland Railroad. Disneyland's website says, embark on a relaxing 18-minute scenic journey aboard an authentic steam-powered train around Disneyland Park. There are no age or height restrictions to ride the train, and the thrill level describes this attraction as being slow, dark, and loud. Now, before we climb aboard, here are 5 fast facts about the Disneyland Railroad. 1. The Disneyland Railroad began operation on Disneyland's opening day on July 17, 1955. In fact, Walt Disney himself pulled the train into Main Street Station that morning on his way to give the park's opening dedication. 2. The railroad features 5 restored steam locomotives named C.K. Holliday, E.P. Ripley, Ernest Marsh, Fred Gurley, and the Ward Kimball. The first 4 are named after American locomotive legends. The 5th, the Ward Kimball, is named after the Disney animator who is credited for inspiring Walt Disney's love of trains. The oldest locomotive, the Fred Gurly, was built in August of 1894. 3. One of the most anticipated parts of the Grand Circle Tour is the journey through the Grand Canyon and Primeval world. The Grand Canyon diorama debuted in 1958 and features an amazing background mural painted by Delmer J. Yoakum that is 306 feet long and 34 feet tall. The Primeval World diorama opened in 1966 and features audio animatronic dinosaurs that were built for the Ford's Magic Skyway attraction at the 1964 New York World's Fair. 4. The railroad features a special car, the Lily Bell, named after Walt Disney's wife Lillian. It is the last remaining opening day car that is still in service, albeit only occasionally. Guests can pay to ride in the car as part of a separately ticketed Grand Circle tour, or sometimes the first 14 guests in line at Main Street Station when the park opens in the morning will get a chance to ride in it as well. And 5. On January 11, 2016, the Disneyland Railroad closed for over a year to accommodate construction of Disneyland's newest land, Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. When the train resumed operation on July 29, 2017, the new line had the trains making a left turn for the first time in the attraction's history. Well, now let's ride the Disneyland Railroad for a Grand Circle tour of Disneyland. Along for the ride is John B. DeHaas, and after we ride, we'll give you our thoughts on this opening day attraction. This is a binaural recording, so if you have headphones, put them on now as we take a ride on the Disneyland Railroad.
Make sure little ones are away from the train openings or on a lap for me, please.
Thank you, Sean.
Howdy, folks. If you look at the very front of the train, you'll see a red light. Red light, you can't go because the train in front of us has not quite left the station at Norman Square. So once that red light turns green, we will then make our way to Norman Square. Till then, guys, please remain seated because the train may begin to move at any time. For those just joining us, folks, welcome aboard the Holiday 5 here at the Disneyland Railroad. For your safety, please remain seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train at all times. Please supervise little ones, making sure they're fully seated on the bench or onto an adult's lap and away from the train car opening. Our next scheduled stop will be New Orleans Square Station.
Welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. We're embarking on a grand circle tour of the Magic Kingdom. We'll be stopping at New Orleans Square, Mickey's Toontown, and Tomorrowland. We'll also visit the Grand Canyon and make a trip back in time to the primeval world and the age of the dinosaurs before returning to Main Street Station. As we begin our journey, remember that for a safe trip, you need to stay seated, keeping your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your children.
Bienvenidos a bordo del Disneyland Railroad. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
Our first stop is New Orleans Square Station. But to get there, we need to pass through the wilds of Adventureland. It may seem peaceful through here, but trust me, it's a real jungle out there. Literally. So be on the lookout. You just never know what might be lurking along the rails. Just ahead is New Orleans Square Station. This station also serves Frontierland and Critter Country. If you'll be leaving us here, please remain seated until the train comes to a complete stop. Then watch your step as you're getting off. For those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is New Orleans Square Station. New Orleans Square.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, please remain seated to the train. Come to a full and complete inside the station, and we have opened the exit gate for you. This is New Orleans Square Station. It is your stop for anywhere inside of Adventureland, Frontierland, New Orleans Square, and Critter Country. Just joining us, folks. Welcome aboard the Holiday 5 here at the Disneyland Railroad. For your safety, please remain seated. Keep your hands on feet and legs united. At all times, please supervise little ones, making sure they're fully seated on the bench or onto an adult's lap and away from the train car opening. The next scheduled stop is San Diego.
The stops are all the same. They just reroute the track around the Star Wars. The track used to never move the way it does. Because it used to be around the
To those just joining us, welcome aboard the Disneyland Railroad. To ensure a safe ride, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
We're now entering Splash Mountain, rumored to be the location of the one and only Laugh-In Place. If you look real hard, you just might find it. It's where the critters are celebrating a zippity-doo-dah day. Place we're passing over is home to a whole bunch of them. Here in Critter Country, you can join Winnie the Pooh, Tigger, Brer Rabbit, and Brer Bear on their fun-filled adventures. As we steam past Hungry Bear Restaurant, the last outpost in these parts, we're now joining up with the rivers of America and entering the frontier as it looked more than a
Please remain seated at all times. Thank you.
favorite part of the journey. Around every bend, there's natural beauty as far as the eye can see. There is the revered Indian shaman, sharing his stories with those in the great river valley below. People like you have been riding these rails since the 1800s, traveling through nature's wonderland in a matter of days, rather than the months it used to take by mule or stagecoach. Steam power not only fueled these iron horses, but the dreams of a whole new generation as it moved west into this great frontier. Of course, some of those dreams, and the stories that went with them, were pretty darn wild and downright unbelievable. Like on Big Thunder Mountain, where I hear that mysterious spirits have grabbed hold of those mining trains and turned them into the wildest ride in the wilderness. Signals our transition from the frontier to another kind of ear, the ones you'll find on Mickey and Minnie Mouse. Our next stop is Toontown Depot, official train station for Mickey's Toontown, the cartoon home where Mickey, Minnie, and all their friends live. Toontown Depot is also the gateway to Fantasyland, where you'll find many of your favorite Disney animated characters and stories. If you're leaving us here, please wait until the train comes to a full stop. Remember your personal belongings, then step carefully from the train. Have fun, and say hi to Mickey and Minnie for me. Those of you continuing on with us, we'll be resuming our trip in just a moment. This is Toontown Depot, Mickey's Toontown.
Once again, folks, please remain seated. The train will be full and today's stop is at the station, and you can the conductor step onto the platform. away from the train car opening. Our next scheduled stop will be Tomorrowland Station.
You're gonna cancel that too. You gonna keep the sound down?
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us on the Disneyland Railroad. For a safe ride, remember to stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train. And please watch your kids.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Y bienvenidos a bordo. Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren. Y cuide a los pequeños. Gracias.
As we leave Toontown Depot, we get a real nice view of the happiest land of them all, Fantasyland. You can see people stepping onto It's a Small World just below us. And, off in the distance, majestic Matterhorn Mountain. Steaming forward into the future to a land inspired by visions of tomorrow, both practical and imagined. Here you'll find rocket ships and star speeders, submarines and astroblasters, and, if you look overhead, maybe a glimpse of a Mark 7 monorail. This is the latest version of the first daily operating monorail system in the entire Western Hemisphere, gliding above Disneyland since 1959. Below the monorail, and us, are the fun-filled roadways of the Autopia. Drivers of all ages can get behind the wheel of these cars. No experience or license required. If you're into soaring spaceships or doing battle with evil empires and emperors, Tomorrowland is definitely the place for you. Speaking of which, we're pulling into Tomorrowland Station right now. If you're leaving us here, just stay seated until we come to a full stop. Gather your belongings, including lightsabers and astroblasters, and step carefully from the train. Thanks, and have fun in the future. For the rest of you, just sit tight. We'll be on our way again in just a minute. To those who have just come aboard, welcome. The next leg of our journey will take us from the fantastic world of the future to the breathtaking beauty of nature's own design, the Grand Canyon. For your safety, stay seated with your hands, arms, feet, and legs inside the train.
Once again, folks, I need everyone fully seated.
Para su seguridad, permanezca sentado y mantenga las manos, brazos, pies y piernas dentro del tren y cuide a los pequeños. Por favor, no tome fotografías con flash.
In time, way back in time, to the fantastic past of the primeval world, land of the dinosaurs. To our own time and to Main Street Station, gateway to Disneyland. If you're leaving us here, stay in your seat until we come to a full stop. Remember to gather all your personal belongings and step carefully from the train. I'd especially like to thank those of you who've been with me for the Grand Circle Tour of Disneyland. We hope you enjoyed your travels with us and that you'll come back to ride with us again real soon. For those of you staying with us, we'll be on our way again in just a few minutes. This is Main Street Station, Main Street, USA.
John, we just did the Grand Circle Tour on the Disneyland Railroad here at Disneyland.
Yes.
What do you think of this?
I love it. It was funny, I was thinking about it, because Disneyland's a lot smaller than Magic Kingdom of Florida.
Right.
Yet they have 4 train stations, whereas Florida we have 3.
Yeah. Well, I like... any more about that?
No, that's it. 4
Okay.
versus 3.
This is the first time I've been on it since they've reopened it after the Star Wars land construction. The first time I've done a Grand Circle tour.
Yes.
And I love seeing all the new stuff. I think the stuff past Critter Country, going around in Frontierland stuff looks really great.
Yeah.
I think it'll look even better once it gets a little weathered, because it looks a little like, it looks old and rustic, but it looks new.
Very new,
like all the
yes.
rock work looks very new.
Yes.
But I think it's going to be great. I like the new projections and stuff that's in the Grand Canyon diorama.
Yeah, it's funny. I was watching that going, now why couldn't they do this at the Transformers ride? There's like that one scene, drives me crazy. It's like New York City street. It's just a flat painting,
Right.
but nothing happens. Whereas this is the same thing. It's a flat painting, but there's projections of like birds flying
and pterodactyls
Yeah,
and
and
stuff,
it
yeah.
looks so real.
Yeah.
That's all they need to do. Anyway.
Well, I like this a lot. I do like Florida a little bit better in that there's a little bit more to see as you go, and there's stuff on both sides of
Right.
the train
Yeah,
where
you're not facing one way.
Right. So that's my only comment there. But I like this a lot, and
I do.
I think I will go on it more, especially the stretch from New Orleans over to Toontown, because you go through all the Frontierland stuff.
Yeah.
So I like it a lot. And John, what do you rate the old Disneyland Railroad Grand Circle Tour?
I'll give it 10. I'll be working on the out of 10 railroads.
That is high praise.
It's high praise. It's a must do.
There you go. A must do. You've heard
Sorry,
it right.
must do choo choo.
Must do choo choo. And on that, we will say goodbye. Thanks, John.
Bye bye.
Do you agree or disagree with our thoughts on this attraction? Or do you just want to let me know what attraction we should go on next? Send me an email at hello@SaturdayMorningMedia.com, or you can let me know via Twitter, where my username is ToasterBoy, or post on the Attraction Checklist Facebook page at facebook.com/Attraction Checklist. This episode was edited by Steven Staver. Attraction Checklist is a production of Saturday Morning Media and made possible by the Saturday Morning Media Patreon patrons who've gone to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up a monthly pledge for as little as $1 a month. Patrons get new episodes before they are released, downloads of the ride audio recorded for each episode, and exclusive bonus episodes featuring attractions from other theme parks. If you'd like to support this show and the other fun content from Saturday Morning Media, become a patron. Head on over to patreon.com/Saturday Morning Media and set up your monthly pledge today. You can also tell a friend about the show or leave the show a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, or wherever you get your podcasts. Thank you so much for listening. Attraction Checklist is copyright 2019 Saturday Morning Media, Grant Pachoco executive producer, all rights reserved. www.SaturdayMorningMedia.com. You've been listening to Saturday Morning Media. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.